Welcome back to another episode of the Pod Gods. My name is Jake.
I'm Brady.
Host of the Pod Gods. We got a very special guest, Mr. Nathan Ta, a.k.a. the Lone Ranger. Just keep going.
Thanks, guys.
All right, that's good.
Thank you. Thank you for coming.
Yeah, absolutely. It feels weird sitting on this side. You just sit over there, so this is really cool. And I'm not sure which camera do I look at because you guys are
Usually the
like
center.
three.
That one's
I look
yours.
at the vent.
Just look at the I'll look down, man.
No, I feel like you're typically right on the other side of that wall.
Oh yeah, we can hear you,
I can hear you.
Yeah.
dude.
Yeah.
You talk with force.
Do I?
Yeah.
It's good though. You're confident.
I know, especially if I need to get something moving, man. I gotta go. So
What the
Get
hell
it
are
out.
you doing?
yeah.
Okay, well, so you work at Edge. You started
I do work at Edge.
a year ago?
2 years ago.
2 years ago, okay.
March 6th, 2023.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you started under Maddie B.
I did, and you guys were working in that one office where you and Little were sharing that desk.
Yeah. Yeah, the old office.
The one in like Edina, or what was it still in Minnetonka?
No, right down the road.
Oh, is it just down the road?
Yeah,
Okay.
Prosperwell building. And
This is a way nicer office, man.
yeah, but I loved being like elbow to elbow, and you'd have to like talk over people.
Dude, we filmed a podcast there.
Did you guys film?
Where did we film?
It might have been like a Mike Wright's.
Oh yeah, in his
Yeah,
office.
yeah.
That's
In
right.
And then-
Tom's office?
No, Mike Wright had an office at the old
Oh, he
building.
did?
And yeah, Brady and Mike filmed a Realtor of the Week there.
Oh, okay. So he was doing that stuff back then too.
Yeah.
Mike's a beast, dude. I love
He
Mike.
is. He's such a
Mike's
good
so
dude.
funny.
No, I missed that office though because it was just so like tight knit, and like
This is corporate-y.
Yeah, I like this vibe, man.
yeah.
I like this room.
Yeah, you have a
This-
whole room to yourself, bro. Don't you want that?
It's a lonely existence.
Yeah, you are
No
like in the
windows.
corner.
People aren't even on the same floor as me.
Some people are.
Yeah,
I am when I come in.
Yeah. People like come and go though on this floor. There's not like a solidified.
Community.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, okay. So how old are you?
27.
27. Should we start with your origin story? Where were you born? What did your parents do? Do you have siblings?
Shoot. Yes. Yeah. I guess we can dig that deep,
We'll
man.
start there. Maybe just a speed run or.
Yeah, born in '97. Just born in like Edina. Grew up in Minnesota.
Whoa.
Damn it, dude. Everyone's born in Edina.
I don't know.
crazy.
Wait, why is that crazy?
Because Jake was born in, like
You were
every
actually?
guest we
Yeah.
have is born in Edina.
That's true. Like we've had almost all
I'd
guests
say
are
it's,
born in
it's
Edina.
80 to 85% of our
I don't know what
guests.
hospital. It's that one big hospital.
South
like,
Desert.
Yeah, South
Yeah.
Desert, like that one, like on that highway or off the highway or whatever.
62?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think that's where I was born.
I'm a
But-
Coon Rapids baby.
Yeah. Coon
Mercy.
Rapids is tight though. I like Coon Rapids.
That's okay.
Oh, okay. I was trying to help you out.
It's not as bad as Edina. So.
Okay. All right. Well, so you went to Edina?
No, dude. I lived in Bloomington, I think,
Oh,
till I
okay.
was 3, and then we got our house in Apple Valley, and I just grew up in Apple Valley. Went to Eastview, Madison for my college, my first year, and then I went to Vancouver because I'm a Canadian citizen and a U.S. citizen.
Oh, what?
Yeah. So my parents are Canadian, like they grew up in Canada, and then I was born here, so I got citizenship just from coming out, and yeah, just got 2 off
That's
the
cool.
bat.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
No big deal.
No big deal. Yeah.
Yeah, no big deal. I mean, those are the two probably ones that you would want. U.S.
Super
for sure,
cash.
and then Canada's a pretty decent one to have too.
Yeah. What did your parents do?
Yeah, my mom was a stay-at-home mom. Now she just works at like a bank as like a teller. She does, I don't know, that Universal Banker or something like that. And my dad's a computer programmer.
Oh,
So
nice.
Where do they live?
They live in Apple Valley.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
Are they dual citizens too?
Yeah, they got their U.S. citizenship, I think, when I was like 10, 14. They got like naturalized or whatever it was, so they are now. So and
Okay.
all my siblings are dual, so it's pretty convenient.
Yeah.
I mean, we're so close to Canada, so you just bomb up there, bomb down here.
Yeah.
Type of thing.
Are you Korean?
I'm Vietnamese.
Vietnamese. Are your parents Vietnamese or were you Okay.
Yeah.
Were they born in Canada?
No, so they have like a weird childhood, man. Like they were refugees from Vietnam, so like there was that Vietnam War, and
Yeah.
my dad and mom were really young, and they didn't want like obviously to be around during that communist like kind of takeover, so they fled on a boat over to Canada, and I think they were like 10 years old. I don't know if my mom was a little bit older. But yeah, and then they kind of like grew up in like Winnipeg and stuff like that, and they kind of grew up there. And it was just it's a lot different childhood than what I had, right? Like, and then my dad just he probably felt a little bit outsider type energy because he came here when he was like 10, didn't really know the language too well, and had to kind of adopt on the fly. And then my dad got a pretty nice job down in Minnesota, so he moved my mom down. Super happy for that, man. I'm glad to be born in the United States. Yeah. And we just raised our family over here. So
do you know any Vietnamese? Like, did you grow up?
It's crazy because like that's actually the first language I learned. Like if you watch my home videos, like I'm just spitting Vietnamese out, and I'm like, dude, who the heck is that?
So much riz,
dude. I mean, it's like, I was spitting fluent Vietnamese, and ever since I think it's, you're so impressionable. Right. When you go to kindergarten, I started learning English and adapting to that I just used English like at home and at school where I just kind of forgot it. Like, I can understand bits and pieces, but it's like gone. And I'm sure if I learned it again, it'd be easier than if I never had that at all. But like, it's just gone.
Do you wish you still had it?
Yeah, kind of. It would be handy, especially for like real estate. You have a niche market, you could tap into that. That would be pretty cool. Yeah, that would be really cool if I had that.
Think about that.
But I don't know. I mean, I don't have like an accent or anything, so like that maybe that's why my parents like kind of made sure I was like speaking English all the time, otherwise I might come with an accent. I'm not sure if that's how it works, and if it isn't, then I misspoke here, but I don't know. I wish I was Duolingo, right? That would be pretty cool. So
my Jean was born in Wisconsin or like Midwest. Yeah, lived here her whole life, but she still, because her mom and dad only spoke Hmong to her. Okay, so she has like a faint Asian accent, like Hmong accent. Yeah. When she speaks English, it's not like it's not like the way she says some words, and if you listen to her long enough, you can kind of hear. 'Cause sometimes people that if English isn't their first language, they'll like skip words to like.
Yeah, no, I know exactly what you mean. I got like relatives or even I know exactly. You can kind of tell. You can kind of tell hints.
Yeah, dude, I wish I could speak 2 languages.
Dude, I was so bad at Spanish in high school. Yeah. Oh. My Spanish teacher was dating my cousin, so I got a B.
What? How did that work? Is the older cousin, obviously?
It's like a second cousin, so it's my dad's cousin. So funny, he's like 50.
Same grade.
Yeah. Yeah, no, he was in class with me.
Yeah. That's crazy.
But no, she was a big golfer too, so it worked out because it was like my spring semester, so I was never at school. I was always golfing, and she was just like, basically let me slide by.
Oh, yeah?
Are they still together?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
They really?
Yeah.
Damn.
Did they get married?
No. They both had some pretty nasty divorces, so like...
Never doing that again.
Fuck that shit.
Yeah.
So they're just chilling, like little common law.
Live together. Yeah, exactly. So they're happy. We see them out every now and then.
That's crazy. Yeah. Funny story. When I first started as a loan officer, speaking of teachers, one of the first realtors I met up with was a lady named Shelly. And we like grabbed coffee, and I'm meeting with a ton of realtors because you just want to network. Right. And I was like, so what'd you do before this? She was like, oh, I was a teacher. I was like, oh, where? She's like, Concord Elementary. And I was like, I went there. And
is that in St. Paul, or where is that?
Edina. And it turns out she was my teacher.
Yeah. Wait, really? You didn't recognize her?
No, dude, I'm so...
What grade? Was
feels it like a lifetime ago.
Was it like really young, or was she like high school?
I want to say it was like 1st or 2nd grade. Oh, wait, no, this had to have been like maybe... Because we didn't have Spanish. She was a Spanish teacher, though.
So probably middle school. Yeah.
I don't know why I thought I was young. Yeah. Crazy, though.
Like, do you still talk to her?
Like, as of today?
Yeah.
I'll send her like a random, like, hey, how's it going? How's the business? She was like half in, half out as like a realtor.
Is she still in real estate?
I think so. I think technically, but I don't know if she's actively, on the grind like you guys are, but... Yeah,
we're not on any grind. We just live our life.
Yeah, dude, that's
going
exactly
with the flow.
It kind of is like that, but it is a kind of grind too at the same time.
What's that button?
It's Felix's button. I was like, oh, that's cool, Harry Potter. I'll put it on today. And then he's like, no, don't wear it. And I'm like, well, now I'm definitely wearing it. Like, fuck you, dude.
What a dick.
You have to assert dominance with these kids, otherwise they'll just run over you. Like, oh, sorry, okay, I'll take it out. Fuck you, dude. not
That's
taking
crazy.
Dude, I'm telling
I'm
you.
taking notes for when I'm
Seriously,
going to be a father. Not
otherwise,
not anytime soon.
Yeah, well,
Maddie.
Famous last words, but do you have siblings? I don't know.
5.
Five siblings. So you and 5 others.
Yes, sir.
Are you oldest, youngest?
I'm the oldest.
You're the
top
oldest.
Of the food chain. Yeah.
Did you love it?
Yeah, I like being the oldest. I mean, there comes. Everything was my fault. Like,
Right.
it was just my family, but
Damn
like
right.
everything was just my fault, man. It kind of sucked. Like, I've many stories, but like one that vividly stands out. I probably was in.
I'm just gonna push this a tad closer.
Yeah, I was probably like in 8th grade or 9th grade or something. Me and my brother were having breakfast and we were just having an argument over. I don't even remember what it was. We're just
Pokemon.
A little Pokemon argument, territorial. Like,
Get out of my stadium, bro.
but dude, I don't know what happened. I don't know. We just got in an argument. I think he felt. I don't know what happened, but he started crying. My dad came down and he was just looking at the situation. He's like, I don't know what happened here, but it's your fault. And I'm like, dude, what the heck?
Yeah, you're the oldest.
It's kind of that energy, all the time. So
It's like you know better.
yeah, it's like, well, I mean, like even if it's like if they did something bad, somehow it's my fault because I taught them, and I'm like, I didn't teach them how to, you know what I mean?
Shit, this is on you, mom and dad.
Yeah, no, it's
like
my
a mom
fault.
and dad
I'm like,
issue.
I didn't
You
teach them
taught
this.
me.
Yeah, I don't know, bro. So it was just kind of that dynamic, but I like being the oldest. It's really cool, and I have a sister that's 10 years old, and she's super sweet, and the only thing sometimes I feel bad for her though is like she's 10, I'm 27. I have 17 more years with my parents than she'll ever have, And it's just a shock. Like, by the time she's my age, like, my dad would probably be at 70-something. And it's like, dang, You know what I mean? So, like, I got 17 years extra because, like, I'm 30. My dad's, like, probably in his 50s. So, like, by the time my sister hits my age, he'd be in his 70s. And he'd be like, dang,
Yeah.
And it's the same age, too, so.
Wow.
At least you recognize that, though.
Yeah.
And you were a teacher, right?
I was, yeah.
Yeah, so what grade?
I was doing preschool, and then I did some elementary school.
What
too.
grade?
5th grade and kindergarten. I was
Okay.
just doing teaching them. Yeah, so
Nice.
we got both ends of the bookshelf.
That's cool.
How great was that?
Dude, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the relationship part with the kids. I like preschool because it was a bit more loose. I love this company that I work for because obviously we have certain standards we abide by, but no one tells you how to run your business here. No one's like, come at night, no one, you just kind of do
Show up,
you just kind of do what, you don't need to show up. You just kind of do whatever, right? And elementary school is obviously you have to be very strict, there's guidelines, but they were also pushing a lot of like, certain like topics and things like that was like just super heavy, and not everyone agreed with it, and it
like
just
social issues.
Some stuff like that, and it just kind of like fed into it, and plus like it was just after COVID, and there was like just 30 students. Everyone was like recovering from COVID, so I think there's more than normal. But there was like at least like half or at least a third of kids had some special. It's called IEP, like a special plan that they needed to do.
My fiance teaches, and she tells them all about
and it's just like me, and now all of a sudden like I have like all these students that need extra attention, and then like 15 other regular students in a whole 30, and I'm just like, dude, this is wild. I got super stressed out. I'm like, this is like such a high weight. And I want to give each kid like individual attention, but it's like impossible, dude. I'm like one guy, and it just like, I just kind of got burnt out, right, real quick, and it's just like you go home and then you got a lesson plan and do school and stuff like that. So it's not like your day is over.
Jean, my fiance, is a teacher for 3rd grade, and same thing. It's like they don't get paid nearly enough for how much work they put in. Like Jean will spend her own money to get like stuff for the kids.
Exactly,
and that's just like expected.
Yeah,
like
it
that's
is.
not even like
no. And they pay you so little, like you don't have extra margin for doing that, especially as a first year teacher. And that's where when you got to spend the most because you don't have anything established. So it's just like, well, dude, I
like decorating the room.
Yeah, dude, decorating the room, and kids don't go. I was in St. Paul, so some of the kids didn't have like pencils and things like that. Like over there, it was a Title I school, so it was a bit more. Some people had more unfortunate situations, and it just like they expected kind of the teacher to, hey, give them the pencil, give them the crayon, the scissors, and when you do that for 10, 20 students, it kind of adds up and things like that too. And buy books for your classroom. They probably give you a small budget, but that doesn't cover like a small percentage of anything. So
yeah, Jean. It's like as soon as she gets home, she has to like immediately start lesson planning.
Yeah, exactly.
Like spend the first hour at home back on her computer, and then also dealing with the parents' emails constant. How's my kid? Do they have ADD? Should I enroll them in, like, you know, yeah, they expect the teachers to, it's like, you're the parent. Like, you should be close enough with your kid to, like, I don't know, whatever. That's another story. But yeah, it's.
And they also, there's like budget cuts too. So like, you know, I think she's like a specialist, right? There's like less of that. So less to take off the teacher. More of that just gets distributed onto the teacher. Yeah. And the teacher is like inevitably like kind of falters, and then they blame the teacher. I don't know. It's just like, I don't want to get into like blaming and pointing fingers at anything, but like, it's just like not the most ideal setup for a young teacher to come in and succeed. You know what I mean? It's not it's at least. Yeah, it's just kind of...
They're cutting staff right now at...
Yeah, exactly, dude. Like, so it's basically like the deck is stacked against you, and not saying you can't be successful, but it's like they're not like giving you a nice like scaffolded path through, like, you know...
Yeah.
Yeah.
100%.
I mean, who's going to want to be a teacher?
Yeah.
Right.
Like, that's going to be a problem at some point. It has to be.
Yeah.
I think there already are shortages in some states and stuff like that, where they call in like the National Guard or something to be a substitute is what I heard. I'm not sure if that's like...
Yeah.
Yeah. But same with like police officers, a lot of like nursing home staff, same things, like huge shortage. Ever since COVID, same thing as you. It's like during COVID, I was working at the nursing home. It's like immediately I got burnt out because it's like you had to wear all the PPE, or was it like the protective mask, gown, gloves, goggles, hairnet. And then if you went to a different floor, you'd have to take all that off, put on a different set.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's fucking brutal.
Hot.
Dude, especially in a nursing home, middle of winter, they crank the heat.
Oh, really?
Dude, drenched.
You just are like, let's play some bingo, guys.
Yeah,
it's... 69.
Yeah, brutal. Okay, so...
How did you go from being a teacher?
That's a great question, dude. So
to where we are today.
Yeah, it was in 22, and I just like when I was in college, I didn't know what I wanted to do, right? And I just assumed, because my parents are just like, be a doctor. You're good at like math, and like I was book smart and stuff, so they were like, just be a doctor. And I'm like, well, okay, whatever. You're like,
just be a doctor.
Yeah, dude, it's
no big deal. Just be a doctor.
Yeah, kinda. It's pretty much like kind of expected for me. It's expected, dude. Like honestly, I don't know if some stereotypes. I don't want to like feed those, but like at least for me, it didn't go against them. And they're just like, hey, be a doctor and stuff. And then like third year, I was like, just really, because your first, second year, I was just kind of like work hard, play hard, you know, had some fun and all that, and just kind of got some of my grades done, went to the labs, dude. It was just a wild time. And like third year, I just kind of woke, you know, you're like, damn, my graduation's next year. I don't know what I want to do. You know, I'm like, do I really? And then I shadowed doctors and stuff, and I was like, do I really want that? Do I really want to go? Well, one, I didn't want to go to med school and like have to compete and get grades and all the stress and prove yourself, you know, and it was just super stressful, and get like the high MCAT score. Right. Dude, like utmost respect for people who do those things, but it was just like difficult. And then I don't want to be at the library for 12 hours a day studying and going to class and then going studying more. Like I had enough of that in college, but it was like, hey, if I sacrificed like my 20s to do that, like I would want, it's like climbing a Mount Everest. You want the view at the top, right? And the view at the top is not really what I wanted, but what my parents wanted, right? So I kind of had a realization there. But I was like, well, what do I want? And I'm like, dude, I had no idea. I was like, what, 21? I'm like, I have no idea. I called my dad. It was a hard conversation for me to call him. But I'm like, hey, I don't think I want to be a doctor. And he's like, well, okay. Like, what do you want to do? And I'm like, I don't know. You know, he's like, do you want to write? And I'm like, no. He's like, do you like math? And I'm like, no, not really. You know, I mean, like, I don't mind math. I mean, I do math for my workout. But, like, I'm talking like calculus, like those, like, crazy, you know, letters more than numbers in the equations and stuff like that, math. So I didn't, you know, physics and stuff like that. I just, so we were going back and forth, and he's like, why don't you just try pharmacy? It was kind of like being a doctor, but I guess, you know, pharmacy school is a little bit more chill, and the job is more chill and stuff. So I'm like, yeah, sure, like that sounds good to me. And then I kind of like convinced myself, yeah, this is my path and stuff like that. So then I went back home, moved in back with my parents for the summer, and got a job at CVS Pharmacy. And I just worked there. And at the same time, by happenstance, I got a summer camp counselor job, right? So
Which CVS? I don't know why.
That's a good question. It's the one off of Galaxy. It's all the way down Apple Valley off of Cedar,
okay.
like over there. So I have nothing.
Did you fucking see him?
I don't know why, but part of I had the weirdest feeling.
It really adds to the story.
I had a weird feeling that for some reason I like pictured you. I could totally picture you behind the counter at a CVS. Like I've seen you before doing that. Yeah.
No, dude. I wear like a polo. The right gowns for the doctor, but yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, I just can't stand jobs that was like monotonous. Like I would be scooping pills into bottles. I would count the pills. I would alphabetize the medications.
Yeah.
I would alphabetize the patient's medications. Then the patient would come up and be like, "Hey, what's your name? What's your birthday? What are you picking up?" Like, and that's it. And that's it for like 8 hours, dude. And that's like every day. And like the pharmacist there didn't seem like, "Oh, I love my job." They're like, "Yeah, the minute it hits 12 o'clock, I'm out of here." And I'm like, "Oh, okay." Like,
you love what you do, huh?
No, none of them really looked like they did. And everyone looked like they were just running off the clock. And I'm just like, dude, I was trying to, like, my parents like, "You're going to make good money. Like, you'll be fine." And I'm just like, and then I worked at the summer camp and I just felt alive there, dude. Like, I have a different type of personality. Like, everyone wanted to sit like and watch the kids play on the playground. I'd be running around with them, playing some tag, playing board games with them. Everyone else likes to be this authoritarian, like, "Oh, Walker, don't climb up the slide," or something crazy. Like,
if I can do a backflip off
get
the
in there with them.
Yeah, I'm gonna go do it. I'm not that crazy, but like, I'm not like so strict about rules. I mean, like, as long as people are safe and having fun, that's what's important.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not about like following things to the T. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like a lot of people like felt important to enforce things to the T.
They forgot their inner child.
They forgot their inner child, man.
Yeah.
And they were like bored. And I was like just running around, like having fun. And I just felt alive, dude. And kids loved me and I was able to build them up too. Because they know I loved them. And I'm like, when I teach them like not to do something or do this, like they'd listen, right? Because they'd know like, dude, this guy cares for me. Instead of like, oh, he's just a guy that just enforces things.
To them, you're like a big kid. So like they respect
like
you
a big
as one of
brother
their
type
own.
of like a big brother / mentor type of thing. And I grew up with younger siblings, and my siblings were getting older at this time too, so it kind of like got me back into that like big brother role once again that I kind of miss, you know what I mean? So
do you like being in that? Like, did you take care of your siblings a lot growing up?
Yeah, I would play with them and stuff like that. We would play imaginary stuff. I love that stuff. I would still do that now.
I could totally see that.
I would still do that now.
Yeah.
Have you seen Step Brothers?
Oh yeah.
You gotta enter that dinosaur.
Is that one of the quotes?
Yeah, like at the end of the movie, he's like, "You gotta be that dinosaur," and like the dad's like walking around like a dinosaur. You have no clue what I'm talking about?
No.
This guy's never seen it.
I've never seen it, to be honest with you, either, man.
Damn, bro, what?
This guy always tries to dog me, and then it just backfires.
No, dude.
Be on my team, Brady.
Fucking
be on my team.
Put this on TikTok.
Be on my team.
You're about to be dog.
Tiger mode.
Tiger mode. Lion mode.
Lion mode.
Fucking A. Get him out of here.
Lion mode.
But yeah, you gotta have that imaginary. You gotta be a kid at heart still.
Yeah, dude. Yeah.
I feel like I lost that.
You did?
Yeah.
What about around your kid?
Me?
Yeah.
What about around your kid? Like, do you get that
I can,
energy?
but it's like, it's not like, it's fun to watch him, but I don't have fun doing it.
Why not? Like, what happened, man? Like, what happened?
Well, hold on. Do you have it still? Like,
Dude,
imagination?
me and Maddie will go to a restaurant and we'll be like, "Hey, can we have a kids menu so we can draw?"
Hell yeah, dude.
Like,
I do that.
yeah.
I do that too. Hell yeah.
We fucking play with toys, like we play board
Like,
games
if
all the
you
time.
had two toys, would you be like,
Dude, we
like,
fucking stuffed animals? Yeah, we'll make a whole scene.
Oh, really?
Yeah, dude.
That's awesome, dude.
Me and Maddie
I love that.
dude, I fucking love that woman. No one will ever top her.
yeah.
She'll be on top of me,
No,
though.
I'm not jealous, but I wish I had that. Something happened
You
along the
have
way.
it.
Yeah, why can't you channel
It's
it?
the meth.
I'm not stopping meth. No, I think it's because I do it with video games. That's like a higher version of that.
Sure.
You know, you're immersed in a video game. So I guess when I get off the video game, it's harder to like make reality as fun as a video game.
Did you ever play with
And that's
toys
real.
when you were like little?
Oh yeah.
Like those action figures, like Bionicles. I had like these
100%.
Transformers, dude, that would just.
We were
just like.
we had like the Power Rangers. You connect all of them into a bigger
Power Rangers.
Yeah, those were incredible. But I don't know, just slowly lost it along the way. Which is normal. You stop playing with toys after a while, but
you don't need to though.
You don't need to. I have toys at home. I just don't play with. They're like collectibles.
You do have a lot of toys at home.
Yeah.
I played with Matty B's kid with some of his toys like Thanksgiving. I went over his house.
What toys do kids have these days?
Yeah, I went to Matty B. Dude, Matty B kids have a lot of freaking toys, dude. They're just like a whole. Yeah, dude. They have a ton. I think they had like Legos.
Those are good though. Legos are. I don't mind Legos. Legos are fun.
Legos are a blast.
Yeah.
Well, the thing with Legos is you can only build them, but then you can't really like
play with them.
Yeah, because they break. Yeah.
True.
When I was like fifth grade, I was so excited. I built this cool castle, and I was like, just like I'm like. I spent so much time building that thing. Fuck. Yeah, exactly. And then I returned that dang thing because I'm like, oh, this is useless.
Took me hours. It's so funny.
Yeah, I didn't think it was gonna break that easy. So Legos are more just for like show, But
yeah.
They have these like Playmobil things that I used to play as a kid, like these castle things that would be so much fun to do, like action figures and stuff.
It is fun though once you have a kid to watch your kid use his imagination, he'll just have like two pillows with like a blanket over it, and that'll be a house for like
heck yeah
and I'm like, oh man, that's so cool.
Do you guys do like
you gotta
forts
go be
together?
in that house.
That metaphorical house.
Yeah, dude, you should just put your head in there and be like.
I play with him. I like cater to his imagination, but I'm not like.
You gotta be in that.
I know it's hard to immerse into
more
a
math.
3-year.
Yeah, do you guys make forts? Do you guys make forts together?
He's a big fort guy.
Yeah.
Me and Maddie make forts every now and then.
Do you?
Yeah.
Fort? I don't mind forts. I like a good fort.
We built a fort in our bedroom and then watched a movie in the fort.
I like that.
That's awesome, dude. I love that energy.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's a cool energy.
It's usually date night, so I put my phone away. So I
Yeah.
don't have my phone or anything. That's when we really get into it, is when we both shut our phones off and just do our thing.
I think that's what I need to do too.
Wine walks, that's another thing that we love to do.
Yeah, we're not big alcohol people, but
just
they do
walking.
sound fun as fuck though.
Yeah, we literally just we leave our phones at home, we get a little tumbler of wine, and we just walk around the neighborhood.
Yeah. You have a nice neighborhood too. I like your neighborhood.
Yeah.
That's
We
that
go
park.
on the swing set all the time.
Love swing sets.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, swing sets go hard.
We were playing on the playground the other day, I'm not going to lie.
I could still get on a swing set and be like, this is the best thing ever.
But I'll be honest, our playground across the street from our house, one of the most dangerous play sets I think I've ever been on.
Really?
Like
do
the
like seesaws or something?
No, dude.
Those are sketchy. Those are sketchy.
I don't even. We were looking at this thing because it was like a bridge, but it was like a mountain, and I was like, I don't even know where I'd put my foot to like safely get across this thing.
Yeah, dude. There's this. There's two ledges, and there's space in between. And there's a stick that you have to put your foot on and swing it's a big stick. You stand at the top and it swings across. And it's like 10 feet in the air in Shoreview. Have you been to the Shoreview Park?
No.
Dude. You think of the best park you've ever been to.
Okay.
Okay? Imagine that like times 3. Yeah. Times 3.
The best park I've ever been to is Disney World, though.
Oh, well, negative.
Mic drop.
Like maybe negative. Divide that by 3.
But no, it sounds cool. I probably am not going to drive to Shoreview for a playground.
Don't ever
That'd be
do it,
pretty
but-
crazy, but you never know.
Take a long wine walk to Shoreview. All right. So pharmacy, you're like, fuck that. This sucks.
Yeah.
Just eating the clock all day, doing the same thing.
More or less, yeah.
Yeah.
And it was a big thing because I wanted to be a teacher, and this is the one where I got into my faith too. I'm a pretty I'm not like super uber religious and stuff. Like I'm not a big I don't know, how do I describe it? I don't follow rules for rules' sake, right? And I think it's easy to get caught up when someone says you're Christian, like, oh, you follow all these it's more of the spirit, if that makes sense. But anyways, I was like getting like my relationship back to God, I don't know if that registers anything with you guys.
Yeah, 100%.
Oh, okay, absolutely. So you guys get it. So then I was kind of like praying, and I'm like, God, like give me some direction. I'm kind of lost. I don't know. Honestly, I spent like 2 years just kind of doing that college, partying, stuff like that. And honestly, it was fun at first, but like I'm over that now, right? And it's just like it's so superficial. It's just kind of like you don't get anything lasting. It's like eating a bunch of Starburst, where it's like, oh, it's super great at first, but then it kind of sits in your stomach weird, and you feel like empty. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's not like a complete meal. So that's exactly how I can describe.
Analogy.
I love a Starburst right now.
Yeah. anyways, I was just like praying about it, and like I just got this pull to work with kids because of how just alive it made me feel, right? But I knew teachers paid like a fraction of what you would make as a pharmacy. So I was wrestling with that. My parents were like, do the pragmatic thing. Like, who cares? Like, you can have fun when you're off of work. But like, was always a thing for me to like have fun at work, because you're working like a third of your life. So if you're like bored at work, that's like, dude, you're eating up so much, and you're like, oh, I hate this. And you'd be surprised of how many people I talk to, and they're like, yeah, it's just a job, pays the bills, but they don't really like their job, you know? And it's like, I didn't want to be in that like category. Nothing against it, but I didn't want to, I wanted something that I enjoyed and had fun, because you have fun what you're doing. You don't work a day in your life,
Whoa.
So like,
did you just make that up? I'm just kidding.
I'll quote that, man.
Wow.
Nathan
Someone put that on a pillow. No, that's so true though. Especially when you put it like that, 8 hours out of your day, that's a third of 24 hours. Yeah, adds up.
So teaching was just pulling you, and that was the direction you wanted to go?
Yeah, so I took a job. So I took a year off from school, and I worked at a preschool job, just kind of feel it out and see if that's what I wanted to do. I don't just do things like on a whim. So I kind of like had a little foot in the water, knee deep in the water approach that year. Started out as a float, and then I got my own classroom. I just kind of moved around, got my own classroom, and that was awesome, man. Like, I kind of ran the show. It was like my show, like underneath, like when you work underneath somebody as a teacher's assistant, it was kind of hard because I wanted to do things such a different way,
right?
And they wanted like rules and structure. And like that, and it's important to have that, but they were just so focused on that, and I'm more like, let's build a relationship, let's have fun, let's make an environment where you guys can just be,
thrive, be creative,
be creative. Like, I'm not going to limit you guys, because I still have my inner child, and I get that, and I want to pull that out and magnify it for you, And I just, dude, we would have awesome times outside. Like, we'd make everything into kind of a game. It was awesome. I had 6 kids too, so it was fantastic.
Only 6?
Yeah, I had these 6 kids, dude. It was a good.
Was it like the special education kids?
I was in preschool, so basically they had like a 3s and 4s classroom. Dude, it was crazy. Like, this lady really wanted me to work for her so bad that I got to dictate like terms. I'm like, I'm not gonna come until like 10 a.m. She's like, okay, and I'm like, I'm not gonna. Because I didn't really want, I'm not going to change a diaper.
I'm going to leave at noon.
And I'm like, I didn't want to change a diaper. I don't want to change diapers. She's like, okay. So then I got hired.
This poor lady has to work like triple the amount.
Like the other people. And they probably like looked at me kind of side-eyed and stuff, because he's like, oh man, this guy. But like, I just came in, I'm like, hey, I didn't, because I had like few people that, honestly, like being a male in early education, like you're kind of like, it's rare. So they were kind of like, you kind of have some leverage in dictating some terms. And I was like, yeah, I'll come in at 10 and I don't want to change the diaper. She's like, okay. And it was great, dude. I had a great time at that. And then I went back to school, finished up my degree, and what did I do? So then I was going to go student teach right after that and kind of get in the master's program. Then COVID hit and stuff like that, and I didn't want to like learn how to teach students like via online and then get my own classroom, because that wasn't going to prepare me. So I went back and back to a different preschool that year, and I was 21 at the time, so I felt behind because I got my 4-year degree. My buddies were getting like jobs or going to grad school and stuff, and I kind of made like $19 an hour. I'm not saying it was bad, but I just felt like that wasn't an expectation of where I wanted to be.
Sure.
So it was super like humbling to me, and I was like praying to God. I was like, God, I am jumping off a cliff, and it's not that dramatic, but like just my mind at 21 made it kind of dramatic, and like I'm jumping off. Yeah, like I'm jumping off cliff. I'm super behind. Like, expect you to catch me. And this was such a powerful growing spot. Like I built like my own classroom. I had 10 this time, but it was like just building that community in the class. That was just, dude, it was awesome. And like my company just got bought out by a parent company, so that meant like very little corporate oversight as they transitioned. And my boss was so chill, dude. She was just a beast. I loved her. She's so chill. She let me like run around the hallways when there was raining. I don't think any other principal or director would allow you to be running inside the building, but she was like, yeah, just go ahead and do it. And I'm like, say less.
Dude, I think you're going to be like an incredible dad one day.
Oh, I appreciate that, man.
I feel like you're meant to be a teacher. I mean,
Yeah,
everything
Let him finish his story. Let him finish his story.
That's what I thought, man. That's what I thought. So
Cliffhanger.
yeah, so but yeah, so then I started student teaching. I went back into it, dude, and then it just like, you know, I told you like there's just certain things that they wanted you to teach. It was a lot of like, man, it was only like 25%. Like they were like enforcing teaching like math, science, reading, and like actual academic stuff, and the other 75% was like all this social stuff. And I'm not having like anything against it, but it was just like, you know, like the importance of it, like to me, was a bit off. Like the balance was definitely off.
Yeah.
Right? Like you want to stress more academics. How can you push kids academically? But it just didn't feel like that was it was more like, hey, make sure the kids are socially aligned in a certain area more than actual academics.
Learning how to learn.
Yeah, and they just kind of like put that in there. Like, you know, I'd have created a lesson on division, and then we had to say, you know, one of the things was, hey, make sure you incorporate race. And I'm like, it's division. Like, I don't know how, you know, like why is race having anything to do with division? Like, it's just learning how to divide, you know, like why are we having to throw a cultural lesson in a division class? You know, maybe there's a you know what I mean? So it was just kind of that stuff that was like kind of, you know, marinating into it. And the fact that I was telling you earlier in the podcast where it was just like all these kids, like the class size is so big, and it was just like overwhelming, and you're making only a certain amount, and now you're diverting a lot of those resources to your classroom. It honestly felt like I was getting the short end of a stick. Like if I, you know, I was like getting anxious. I'm like, wow, like what am I getting myself into? And nothing wrong with teaching, but it just like felt like this was when I wanted to go in and build kids up, not like kind of deal with all this like navigating. I don't like
force them into a certain
and I don't want to play the politic game. I just want to be myself and just be me and just thrive, not having to learn how to navigate and like, you know, kind of, I don't like doing that, right? I don't like having to be a fake person or having to put on a mask to do something. So,
or have you know, they're impressionable kids, have to like, it's like they should be able to think freely and not be manipulated into thinking a certain like certain social issues. And, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it just kind of was. It is what it is, but it was just kind of like hard for me to see and hard to have any sort of dissenting, even minor opinion on it. It seemed like you'd be afraid to speak out. Honestly, not saying that I had major dissensions or anything like that, but it was like if you did, you know, it would have been an issue.
Shunned
so
around all the other teachers.
Well, it's like it's just like the overall environment. It's kind of weird to kind of describe, but it's just the environment, at least where I was. So yeah.
What were you like as a student?
What was I like?
That's a good question.
Oh, dude, I was super quiet, man. Growing up, and then I had to eventually break out of my shell. But I was super like quiet. I was a smart student, so stuff came to me easily. But yeah, I would have I wasn't like ever in like the in crowd or anything. I always felt like I was kind of on the outside looking. I had some friends, but like it just all felt like I was never. If you're talking about like social dynamics in high school, it always felt like I was just kind of never in the in crowd, if that makes sense. You know what I mean? I just felt like I was a smart student, you know, had to do my own thing. I had friends, but it wasn't like, I was in a part of the circle, you know?
Yeah.
But like growing up academically, grades and stuff came easily to me. Like I'm pretty good. Like I can learn through books pretty easily. So
4.0?
Like 3.8, 3.9 or something like that. Yeah.
Damn, better than me.
Way better than me.
Did you graduate?
Not on time. But that's besides
Wait, what?
the point.
Actually?
Well, I had to take a class that summer, but I walked
you
and
still
got my
got it?
diploma.
Yeah, you got it.
Still got it.
There we
Still
go.
got it. Better than most.
I was gonna ask. Let's jump to. So you became a loan officer.
Yeah. So So pretty much like I kind of left teaching at the Christmas, like around Christmas season. I decided not to come back to teaching 2022. And it was such a hard decision for me, but it also felt freeing at the same time. But at the same time, like honestly, like this is one of the things. So when I was debating whether to become a teacher or not, I kind of like prayed about it and like really thought about it, and I just felt right. And then I was like in the shower and I kind of asked God for a confirmation sign. And I mean, let me just try to make it brief. So when I first came into the Lord, one of my buddies in my neighborhood like prayed over me, and he said that God gave an image of a flower for him and stuff like that. So I'm like, okay, whatever, you know, that's cool. But then when I was like showering and I was like really on the fence of like, hey, I'm gonna go step out, and it was scary, dude, because I have like super I don't know how to say this without being, I have super Asian parents, okay? And they're like really
High
like about
expectations.
academics. They're really about like trying to be like prestigious, get a prestigious job. So like for me to step out and kind of break that mold and break this expectation that was like kind of embedded in me for 18, 19, 20 years was hard. Like I didn't do it on a whim, and like I had to be sure. So like, hey, I'm gonna be a teacher. It's gonna go against everything my parents kind of want. And I pray to God, is this the sign that you want from me, Lord? And I'm like, show me a sign if this is what you want. And then immediately when I said that, like I was showering, and like my shower has like these glass doors, and then on the other side, you know, you can see this ledge, and on the ledge was flowers, and like that connected me with that like sign that my friend gave to me. So I'm like, okay, like God wants me be a teacher, you know. So that's how I'm like, okay, this is God's sign. And then like in late November, I was anxious about teaching, man. I was like, dude, is this for me? I would like kind of just pray and just cast anxiety. I was so anxious. And then I don't know, something made me pray this, but it was like, Lord, if it's your will for me to leave teaching, like show me a sign. And then I looked up, like immediately I like looked up, and I see like, you know, these 2 flower decorations on my wall, and I'm like, holy crap, like no way. And then I like looked at my blanket, and there was like just little floral patterns on it, and I'm like, okay, this is weird. But then like a month later, like I'm at this crossroads, and I'm like, okay, I think it's time to go, right? So I step out, and it's hard because I'm 25. You're not even 25 yet, right?
22.
Exactly, dude. So I'm 25. And my younger brother is in dental school, and my other younger brother is in medical school. And here I am at 25, going down to teacher ref, and then I'm like, I'm out, right? And I have nothing, no path, nothing, dude. I felt like a loser. I was living with my parents, no direction, and I was like, dude, where do I go from here? You know? And that's where like that faith part really saved me from being like just completely crazy with anxiety, because I prayed fervently with God on Christmas Day that day. I mean, you know, like 3 days after I made the decision to leave, and it was like just like, He's got my back. He's got a plan for me. I don't know what it is yet, but I will trust in his will that everything will work out. And it's not like optimism where it was like, yeah, I know, I'm optimistic. It's like you have assurance from the creator of the universe behind you. And that's like, I don't know if I can't emulate that feeling, but like I was like, okay, it's going to work out, because it wasn't more like superstitious hocus pocus. It was like, hey, like this is backed promise. This is a backed promise, right? And I had no idea what it was, but I would just keep my eyes open. And then, dude, I would take all these personality tests trying to figure out what to do. It was a whole, like, exploration thing. It's, like, huge thing, man. I love finances. I was reading books on investment and stuff when I was, like, 21. So, like, you know, Roth IRAs, like, high yield. I know basic stuff and what to do a little bit with my money. Nothing like a financial advisor expert or anything, but I have an idea. So I was like, oh, maybe I can help people with their finances and stuff. So then I got a job offer at a bank. I was interviewing for, like, dude, it's crazy. Like, a part-time offer at a bank. Like, it was, like, 50 interviews for it. 50 people interviewed for the job. Holy crap, right? And like I went to 3 rounds of interviews. You get an entry level position at a bank, and I got it, right? I got it. Like if I want, like I can, yeah. I'm good at those like interviews and stuff like that, and like I got it, right? And she was like going through, she said, congrats, Nathan, you got it. I'm like, heck yeah. And then she was going through the job and what it entailed, and it was again like a corporate thing. Like you greet people, you have to say a certain line, and then you have to make them open this bank account, and I'm like, man, and you gotta stand here.
9 to 5.
Yeah, exactly. You gotta stand here, and I'm like, man, I just really didn't feel it, man. And I'm like, no, I'm not gonna take this job.
Wow.
And I have another offer yet, but I just didn't feel like it was. And then, like a week later, I just was getting my tires rotated at Discount Tire, and I was reading a book. I think you know this story.
Yeah.
And then I was just reading this book called Never Split the Difference. And then a guy just says like, hey man, what are you reading? I'm like, oh, just Never Split the Difference. He's like, oh, it's a good book, man. And I'm like, yeah, it's a good book. And he's like, what are you reading that for? I'm like, I don't know, man. I'm just trying to learn. And he's like, I don't know. And then we started talking to this guy, and this guy was like a super loud dude. He was like running his mouth about some freaking house loan to some lady on the other side. He was super loud about it too.
So
He's
annoying.
like, oh, you bought a house? Like, oh yeah, what kind of loan you need? You know, he's just strutting around this whole thing, bro. And like who the heck is this dude? So then he sits down next to me, and then he's like, oh, and I was just talking to him, and he's like, what do you do for work? And he's like, I'm a mortgage broker. And I have a cousin that did that in Vancouver, so I'm like kind of interested. I'm like, oh, well, what does that do? And he's like, he's going on and on about it. And then he's like, he says 4 things though that really like click with me. He's like, hey, you have a flexible schedule. I love that. High income potential. Obviously that would be, ideal. Niche at something. So I wanted to be good at something in my friend group where I can provide value and stuff, right? Not just like some, I want to have some niche knowledge. And then he said, you got to impact other people's lives. That sealed the deal for me because as a teacher, that's what I really wanted, is to, like, know I have a purpose, know that I can, like, influence and, like, have people and, like, see myself, like,
changing
in the world.
People's lives.
Yeah, in the world, man. And I was like, heck yeah, dude. Like, can we, I was like, can we get some coffee? Like, I would love to, I was like, saw this cool opportunity. I'm like, hey, like, you want to meet up? He's like, sure, here's my number. And I honestly thought he was full of crap, right? Because this guy, was running his mouth. I thought he was full of crap, man. But I had his number. I called him. Like, I had nothing to lose. And he picks up. He's like, hey, like, call me later. So I'm like, okay. And then I call him later. And he's like, trying to link up a meeting with him. But on the third phone call, he's like, hey, you know what, man? Like, my kids are leaving my kids are going to school at 9 o'clock on Friday. Why don't I meet you at, like, 9:45 at this Caribou? So I'm like, we do that. And I go in and I sit down with this guy. He whips up his laptop, shows me a bunch of crap I don't remember. And then a big dude like comes in named Steve Johnson. Like, I think this is one of his friends and like realtor. I don't know. Do you know Steve Johnson?
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
Yeah, he's a cool guy. Big dude, man. He's like big dude. Ordered a quesadilla, like pull like $1,000 worth of cash, like toss a couple like 20s some way. I'm like, whoa, who is these guys? And then he sits down. And then we're talking. I don't know. I'm just chopping it up with them and. I don't know. We were just like personally chatting, and then I'm getting ready to go. He's like, hey, if you want to do this, like, do this as course, do this class, and come call me, And then I'm getting ready. I'm zipping up my backpack. I'm getting ready to leave. And Maddie's like, he kind of crosses arms.
Matty B, by the way.
I figured.
Yeah. He's like, Nathan, you got this, man. You're gonna be great at this job. And I'm like. I don't know what it is. I feel flattered. I'm like, dude, how did you know? How do you know? You're just saying that? He's like, man, you got this energy. He's like, you're a relatable guy, man. You're a relatable guy, and I wouldn't be sitting out here if you weren't. And I'm like, okay, man. And he's like, you're asking good questions too. So, yeah, anyways, I kind of like wrestled with it for a couple weeks and stuff like that. I even asked my pastor about about it. And he said if the door is open, like he said some godly wisdom things. I don't remember everything, but the two things that stuck with me is like, if the doors are open, which it was, the timing is right. And if like you ask all your friends and stuff and they think you're gonna be good at this, it could be a sign from God that this is like for you. Because he didn't show me like the flower stuff or anything like that. So I kind of had to like kind of seek it in other ways. But like, yeah, I asked all my buddies and they're like, dude, heck yeah, dude, we can totally see you in this job. Like, absolutely. So I'm like, oh, okay. So then I just do that course, take this class, and then take this exam. And then I called Matty B like a month later, and then boom, my first day was coming into, I think it was Kelby. Kelby worked at a different office back then.
Yes,
he worked at
in the Dyno one.
Yeah, he worked at a different office.
I remember Matty B telling me about you, I believe, and he was like, dude, I swear to God, like you said, he was talking to you, whatever, and he thought like you just, as soon as he said, yeah, go get licensed, and then you, like, it was like a short amount of time, and you immediately got licensed and called him, and you're like, I remember him being like, what the fuck? Like, you actually, and you passed?
Yeah.
Like, yeah. Like, that's incredible.
Oh, he was telling you about me before, like at that office?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that's cool. I don't want to see like that backstory. That I didn't know about the backstory or anything like that.
I remember me, him, and someone else were talking, and it was like, dude, this Nathan kid, like, he got licensed like immediately, and he like passed it in a matter of like days.
Yeah.
And then called me,
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's cool.
Yeah, it was like a grind for me because like I told you, man, at 25.
Stakes were high.
Yeah, like it felt like a loser, dude. Like living, I mean, you aren't. You're not that behind. Like if you look at it holistic, but like, man, you got these kids like thriving. At least when I went to college, you got the engineering jobs, and my brother's med school done. It's hard not to kind of compare,
Of course.
and you're like, dang, man, I'm at 25. You don't want, and that's not the ideal of what you want to stay in forever either. So.
The thing though too about your parents, like being the stereotypical like Asian parents, you got to think like they came from, was it Laos, Vietnam, and to them, at least how I would picture, just like to them it'd be like, why wouldn't you try your hardest and get the most money out of a thing?
Exactly, yeah.
Because they probably grew up in obviously different circumstances.
Yeah, no, and I recognize that.
To them,
too,
it was probably a no-brainer. Like, dude.
Right. Who cares?
Be a doctor.
Yeah. Who cares about what
how much suffering and struggle it takes? Just do it. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean,
That's awesome, dude. That's incredible.
It's a cool
Thank you.
story.
Yeah.
How do you think you'll do this forever?
I don't know about forever, but like for the long
Foreseeable future?
Oh yeah, absolutely, dude. This is just so much fun. I love it.
How's business?
It's good, dude. I yeah, and like what you guys were talking about with the kid energy, I bring it, dude. The Lone Ranger, like wearing the hats and like
Hell yeah.
just
dude.
like I don't like being super corporate with people. Like I even tell them straight up, like maybe one person walked away from me out of all these other leads I've ever gotten. Like one person probably felt like it was too, but like, yeah, I don't know if I told this to Tom when he was here, but Tom was a big influence on me. And I was like, because like back then it seemed like the whole status quo was like, you got to be kind of boring to be a good loan officer for people to trust you. And here I am with this like idea of like, hey, I'll wear a hat and do this like cool reels and stuff. So I go to Tom, I sit down in his office, and I love he's very short to the point, and I'm kind of telling him this stuff, and he gives me the piece of advice, dude. Anybody else, even my dad says it, like I would not listen, but it's because he built this edge. He helped build this edge up. He kicks ass, dude. Like. I'm like, Tom, what if like I do this, stuff here and realtors say, oh, I can't work with this guy, or clients are like, work with this guy. He's just like, fuck him. And I'm like, I'm just like, really? He's like, dude, don't try to please everybody in the industry. You're going to burn yourself out doing so. Like, just be authentic, be you, own your lane, and you'll find a niche, And I'm like, dude, that's what I just did. I just did that.
You needed to hear that exactly at that right time.
Exactly, bro. And like all the other corporate principals, schools I worked at, nothing against them, but they're all like trying to put you in this box,
pigeonhole you.
Yeah. And there's a Tom guy just like, dude, just do it, And I'm like, it just was such a stark contrast to everything that I've been like working under. It was like I needed that, dude. If I started my thing at Wells Fargo, I don't think I might not be in the business right now just because of that restrictions that I would have to be placed under, right? So
yeah, that's incredible, dude.
So how many tires did you get at Discount Tire?
I just got them rotated, so it just got to change.
Good day to do it.
What's that?
Good day to do it.
Yeah,
Change your life.
Yeah, I know.
Isn't that crazy that you happen to be there at that one time?
While Maddie B's being fucking Maddie B running around.
Yeah, totally. Dude, I think about that too. Like even like the dating app that I met Gene on, I happened to like swipe, and now I have a kid and a house.
It's crazy.
Jeez.
And you know what I mean? It's like that one fraction of a second
that
moment
changed everything.
Yeah, ruined my whole life. No, I'm just kidding.
Gene, you can fight him for that one.
I've never had a better life than I do now. Obviously, I'm
That's
kidding,
so sweet, dude.
Do you have any? Are you dating?
No.
Seeing
Prospects? Are you just business focused right now?
No, dude. It's just like
hold on. He's got a few prospects.
Any leads?
It's hard for me because I don't know, man. It's just like so niche.
Yeah,
well, I'll find it, but it's. Just
I know
like,
what you mean.
I want one that's like adventurous and like would ski down a mountain with me, or like check out this cool cave with me, or go behind this awesome waterfall, and like.
But has the same values.
And stuff. Yeah. So they're out there. It's just like I'm looking for very specific like thing, and I'm not like active like looking. I'm just like living my life, and I'm sure it'll turn up. You know what I mean? Like
I'll just say though, as a 36-year-old who has friends that are single, it's not going to get easier as you get older. Unless you find a divorced mom with 3 kids. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So.
Way to beat a man while he's down.
No, I'm just
like.
He's
really
still
down.
young. Yeah. Wow, that's such a cool story, dude.
Yeah.
I didn't even have anything to say the whole time you were talking.
Yeah. I appreciate you guys sharing the platform. It's
that was awesome.
Dude, I mean the 37 subscribers. They're gonna love it. We have more than that, by the way.
I know.
You fucker.
I'll wait till I get back on cam, but so you have The Bachelorette, right?
Oh,
but I have a show.
Love is Blind.
Both of you. No.
Fucking hate that show.
The Minecraft movie. No. Have you guys heard of Severance?
Maddie wants to watch it.
Dude.
We haven't.
Dude.
Hold
on. Just let me build. I've seen Breaking Bad. I've seen
The Walking Dead.
Lost. I've seen all the.
Dude, I'm watching Lost again, man. It's such a good show. Don't spoil anything for me, but I watched it when I was like 13. I think I made it past season 1. I don't know. Does it get boring after a while? I think I got bored of it.
Later seasons that are
but I'm hooked on the first season, bro.
So good.
It's so good on the first season.
It's a work of art.
Have you seen it? Oh, dude, it's back on Netflix. That's why. It's
incredible.
Back on Netflix. I'm like, oh, dude, I'm watching this.
It's incredible. But I've seen all the great shows. They're like the top tier.
SpongeBob.
SpongeBob.
Speaking of great shows, have you guys? I've seen all this bashing for Disney's Snow White.
Snow White.
Dude, it's getting.
Oh, we'll get to
bashed.
that. We'll get to that. Anyways, I've seen all these great shows. Severance, by far, not even close, is the best show I've ever seen of all time.
Is that the one on Apple
TV?
I think I saw your story about that.
Dude, I'm 8 episodes in. By far, the best show I've ever seen in my entire life.
Better than Breaking Bad?
Better than Breaking Bad.
Oh.
Completely original. Beautiful cinematography, the character development, the symbolism, the everything about it. I swear to God, greatest show of all time.
Never even heard of it. What is it about?
Cap.
You're 20, you don't even know any better. I swear I want you guys to watch it. It'll blow.
I'm not getting Apple TV though.
I don't blame you on that. Yeah, it's literally like the only one of like 2 shows that are going.
I would watch Apple TV for Severance, and then the
Studio,
the soccer show, Ted Lasso.
I forgot that's on there.
Lasso,
I need to watch that show. Anyways, it's incredible, and anybody that's seen it knows what I'm talking about.
Everyone says it's great.
It's outstanding.
What is it about?
Okay, so there's
Doesn't even know.
Well, I'm trying to explain it without giving it away, so you will actually be interested.
Is it like a drama or what?
It's a drama, suspense.
Is it kind of like a Squid Game feeling?
Kind of that vibe, like where there's deeper stuff going on, but you only see like what's on frame. But
right.
Basically, this guy, his wife dies, and he goes into work. When he goes into work, he takes an elevator. Once he gets into the elevator,
he dies?
No, what?
You telling me he dies?
No, his wife died. So he's depressed.
Okay.
Goes into this big corporate 9-to-5 douchey job. Gets into an elevator. Every day, Monday through Friday. And then when he's in work, he's a different person. Like, he doesn't remember going in working all day, but when he leaves and comes out the elevator, it's like he goes in the elevator, comes back out, and he doesn't have to work ever. But so he has like 2 lives that he's living.
Does he remember?
Life, no.
Oh.
So he could have like a work wife. He doesn't know, the guy that's working, like he could have kids, he could have a family, but he doesn't know. The guy
it's like
that
the dual
works.
personality thing, right?
And they don't know each other's lives.
So it's like 2 persons.
It's the
one.
same person, but
but like in one body.
And it's like they implant a chip in their brain so that they can turn it on, and it's a total trip. It'll blow your mind when you watch it. But
now I want to watch it.
I kind of want to see that, dude.
So interesting.
When you say it's better than Breaking Bad, that's like some good words,
I know that's a bold. I love Breaking Bad.
Statement.
Loved Breaking Bad, but I swear to God,
does it hook you like that?
Yes.
Where you're like,
the first episode is like a slow build.
Okay.
But then by the second episode, you're like, it's
like Squid Games.
Yeah, Squid Games took a slow build, but once you got into the games,
you said SpongeBob for a second. But it's made me want to film so bad. It like gave me that because it's so beautifully shot, and like
that's why you're excited for the wedding.
Maybe every scene is so perfectly like symmetrical and set up and artsy, and the story's so like there's so many like usually when you watch a show you can kind of predict like, oh, this person, they're showing this person more, maybe something's going to happen to that person. There's been a lot of it where like I can't even predict what's going to happen next. It's like I'm on the edge of my seat.
Dude, I watched a show last night, and I think it's going to top Severance. Just came out last night.
Go, it's a joke. What is it?
Paul's America.
Paul's America.
Have you seen this?
No.
Do you know what this is?
What's it on?
HBO.
Okay.
It's about Jake, Paul, and Logan Paul's life. I shit you not.
That sounds sick. I wouldn't mind that.
Is it like a documentary or what?
Yeah, it's about their life. It's actually, like, we watched the
Paul's
first
life?
30 minutes last night.
Yeah.
So good.
I'd watch that.
I was like...
I like they're interesting guys.
They were talking about their beef and the Suicide Forest, and...
Yeah.
But it comes out every Thursday on HBO.
Huh. I don't have HBO, which sucks, but...
That's okay.
I would watch it. That sounds sick.
Yeah. No, I watched it last night.
Yeah.
Bachelor's over.
No, go ahead, Nathan. We're not doing a podcast or anything.
I'm just looking at the Paul's life thing.
He does that shit to me.
Oh, fuck. They're all looking at us.
Phones,
Like,
man. I just had to look it up.
I had to set the time. I was just giving shit. So, what'd you say?
The Bachelor's over.
Oh, yeah. All right. And? Did you expect what? Do you watch The Bachelorette or Bachelor?
No.
Bachelor or Bachelorette? Bachelor.
This one was The Bachelor.
Okay.
He fucked up.
Okay.
He told this bitch that he's like, I love you. Like, I'm going to propose to you on the last day. Like, you're my go-to. And then at the altar does not and proposes to the other girl.
Oh, that's good.
Oh,
that's
really?
good TV.
Yeah, it was, dude. It was
Yeah.
great TV. Honestly, he did the right choice. That Mia chick freaked out at him and just was a complete.
The one that he
Bitch.
promised that he was
Yeah.
going to. Well, obviously.
But like
I would've been
over
like,
the
what-
top, like you're psycho. Is what I was like. You are psycho. And now they're happily together, him and Juliana, and it was
Yeah.
great.
Did they
ending.
do like a recap at the end?
Oh yeah,
Like,
she was just.
Yeah.
Still, I was just like, you are. I get it, but like, come on.
If someone doesn't want you, they don't want you. It's like, are
Exactly.
you going to yell at them to like make you want you? It
Yeah.
doesn't make sense.
It doesn't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you said you wanted kids? Like obviously, eventually.
Yeah, eventually, yeah.
Do you know how many?
No,
Two,
probably
probably?
three.
Two?
No, probably three.
Two.
Three.
He wants two. Maddie wants four.
Four. She compromised to 3, and I said, "Well, I'll compromise to 2 then."
Yeah, dude, it's
You don't
yeah.
want more than 2?
No, I was the third child,
Uh-huh.
so I always was in the middle seat in the car. I was always left out. It was just like it was just 4 is a great number.
No, they have third row seating and
No, the Mustang doesn't.
Well, you guys drove around in a Mustang on like road trips?
No,
Or-
no,
it's
no,
like
no.
the Mach E.
My Mach E.
Oh, okay.
It's like a 4-door, but yeah, 2 compared to 4s, that's a huge jump.
2 is 2 though. 2 is good.
Yeah, 1 is fine. 2 is infinitely
no,
harder.
dude,
than
you
just
don't
one.
want an only child, dude. They
Dude,
don't
I
do
have
that
an only-
He's
themselves.
an only child.
I'm an only child. You're right though.
checks
It
out.
sucked.
Yeah?
Dude, it's
Because like, what's
lonely.
Christmas like? Because I'm the opposite of you, dude. Like, I'm the opposite of an only child, pretty much.
my mom and dad got divorced when I was 3, so I'd go back and forth.
Oh.
My mom and dad would fight, and then I had to be in the middle. And I wish I had like 4 siblings or 5 siblings to like talk to them about process stuff, family stuff, life stuff. And people would always be like, so spoiled, you get everything. Dude, I wish.
Yeah.
My mom's like a single mom that's a flight attendant.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And growing up in Edina, you like that automatic,
Rich.
like, oh, you must be.
Yeah.
It's like, dude, I wish.
Right.
I had friends that were like really wealthy and they lived in big houses, and I'd go over there and be like, dude, like, and your mom and dad are together.
Yeah.
And
You guys have a kitchen?
yeah, yeah. But it's like, and you have like 2 cool older brothers that give you like cool hand-me-down clothes, and they show you cool music, and so I was always like searching for like a
You
older
smoke weed
brother,
with them? Like that's.
like older brother, like someone, you
Yeah.
know.
You had some cousins though that.
I
were
did,
that
yeah.
for
No,
you.
luckily I did, and I got to stay with them, so that was awesome. But yeah.
Today's national holidays
Yeah.
are brought to you by Edge Home Finance.
Whoa.
Shout out to Edge. Thank you guys for sponsoring the episode.
Welcome.
And we always plug Edge Home Finance. Thank you for being here today, Nathan.
Absolutely.
Today, March 28th, we have National Black Forest Cake Day. Never had that. Looks unreal though. Looks
Black
just.
Oh,
Forest
that does
cake.
look good.
It looks really good. I'm hungry.
I am too.
National Something on a Stick Day. So
Like
go get those corn dogs.
The
White chicken wild rice on a
yes.
stick.
I'm
Marshmallows.
gonna make a clip out of that today.
Really?
No.
Careful. Last one. National Weed Appreciation Day. Not like
Wouldn't it be like 420? Be that?
not that
Not
type
that
of
kinda
weed.
weed.
Like an
Oh.
actual weed in the
Jeez.
garden.
Fucking
Who,
pothead
who
over here.
appreciates weeds in the garden? Aren't they like nuisances?
Like dandelions.
Oh, I guess.
Somebody's got to
I like
appreciate
dandelions.
a
They're good for
dandelion.
We're always
dandelion
trying to
tea.
get rid of those in our yard.
Yeah.
Yeah, I am too. I'm not gonna lie.
But
But that's it. Thank you, Edge Home Finance, for sponsoring that. Shout out to Things on a Stick. It's my favorite holiday for
that
today.
is a good holiday. Can we go over your faith real quick?
Sure.
I just want to. Are there any subjects you want to?
No, man, that's
Okay.
all I had.
Yeah, your faith. So, were your parents religious or
Yeah,
spiritual?
my dad was Catholic growing up.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so we go to church every Sunday. And
What
Yeah.
kind of like Catholic or like we're Catholic.
What's Catholic mean?
like fucking
Like part-time Catholic, or was
Sunday,
it like?
Wednesday,
No, not Wednesday, but we go every Sunday.
3-hour services?
No, dude, only for
Like
Easter. Like that was
standing up,
brutal.
sitting down,
Yeah.
Yes,
kneeling,
yeah.
like-
Yeah. We did that every Sunday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
That introduced
Christmas
me to the faith.
Eve? Are you going to church?
Yeah.
Was it like that? Okay.
Yeah. I still go to Catholic church like for my dad's sake on Christmas Eve and like for
Yeah.
Easter, but that's about it for Catholic church. Nothing wrong with Catholicism, but it's like a lot of that. I feel like you can get lost in the emotion and like the ritual, and that replaces like the actual
The
point.
Hail Marys and the...
Yeah, and the
Yeah.
actual like point of doing all that, right?
Instead of connecting with God.
Yes, that is the point of Christianity. But a lot of people who aren't Christian look like people, they think, oh, it's judgmental, it's all about rules. And you know what bums me out, man? There's a lot of people who do kind of like act like it's all about rules, and they're very uptight, and just that's what I mean. It's like kind of hard for me to find it's just like I want to find a group of guys that like love the Lord, but are like love life too, and not afraid to live. Like not like, oh yeah, we gotta go to sleep every Sunday and wake up at 8 a.m. to church tomorrow. It's just like I'm not nothing wrong with it. I didn't mean to mock that, but it's just like that energy. You know what I mean? Like it's just kind of hard for me to relate to that. So.
A lot of people find like comfort and safety in that kind of structure.
It is, yeah, it is, yeah, and yeah. So I mean, I'm not trying to like bash it by any means, but it's just like the just complete opposite of me, man. I find comfort and safety in like new experiences, like bonding with my guys, like having deep talks, like going on and doing cool stuff, climbing cool things, like checking out cool. There's so much to do in Minnesota. Like people always they always travel, and they have a blast traveling. They're like, I love traveling to get a new experience, but there's so much to do in Minnesota that you don't need to travel. Dude, there's like caves, there's waterfalls, there's like forests, woods.
You're always
like
doing
trails.
fun, like cross country skiing.
Yeah, dude, there's so much to do, bro.
Yeah,
There's
I love
so
that.
much to do.
So has faith always been important to you, or is it just in the past few years the struggle has kind of brought it?
Yeah, dude,
light?
like I told you, like that partying scene and stuff like that when I was like 19, 20, I just kind of lived it up because I never really did that in high school. But I was missing out, so I kind of compensated by doing all that and stuff. I was part of a frat in college for a couple years, and yeah, I mean it was fun, man. But as like I told you, I didn't feel any substance behind it. It was just more like just drinking with the bros, ha ha ha, just like that girl's hot, like ha ha, it's just like that kind of energy.
Neanderthal brain.
I don't know if that's but it's
Smooth
just like
brain.
It's just like that kind of energy, and it just didn't really fill me up. It just made me feel more empty. And then like, and then I always thought Christian was kind of boring because like I grew up Catholic, and it was just like nothing. I don't mean to bash them. It's just like I just got caught up in the rules. I'm like I don't want to go at Sunday to do these rules and do all this stuff. So I kind of just like left it to feel more free. And then eventually like I just slowly like through people in my life and experiences learn that it's about a relationship with the Lord more than following rules or going to church every Sunday or whatever people think Christianity is about. It's not about that stuff. That's just kind of like what you want to do because you love the Lord, if that makes sense, but not.
Yeah, you're
because
practicing.
You have to go, so.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
It 100%.
Yeah.
I feel like that mindset is a lot more popular now than it was.
I do think
years
so
ago.
too. With a younger, I do think so too.
There's a lot of people that feel that same way.
Yeah.
Even Daniel
Yeah.
DeRoche feels that way.
Oh, he feels that way?
Yeah, he's
cool.
He doesn't go to church.
He doesn't go to church, but he like reads the Bible and like,
Twice a week they study it.
yeah, it's
But,
with like a group of people
Yeah.
and get to have
I
conversations.
think Nick Weiss is in that. He was telling me about that.
Yeah.
I was telling you I used to work at a nursing home. They have that old mindset of
Oh yeah.
very judgmental.
Yeah.
They go to church. They do the what looks like what a good religious person would do. But I heard a good quote. I'm gonna butcher it, but it was basically like there was a atheist and a religious guy debating, and the atheist was basically saying like, Christianity is so, you listen to everything Christianity they tell you to do, blah blah blah. He's like, no, like Christianity told us to like enslave people, told us to like the Crusades, like all that stuff. It's like my main goal is to like have a relationship with Jesus. I was like, oh, because I used to be the hard-headed atheist.
Oh, were you?
For the longest time.
Were you?
Yeah.
That's awesome. That's awesome that I see that shit. That's cool, man.
Oh, dude,
That's cool.
Yeah, I
We'll have
could
to break
not
it down
stand.
sometime.
It was most of it was like I saw all these people that went to church that seemed genuinely happy and caring.
They did not, or they did?
They did seem, the church that I saw, like the people, they seemed happy.
And that's what drew you in?
No, that's what pushed me away. Because I didn't have like I didn't have a hard childhood, but like I didn't have like a very stable.
Yeah.
Like my parents were divorced. My dad struggled with stuff. My mom was gone a lot. I had to stay at random people's houses, and like I didn't have like that stability of like a good family home life.
Yeah.
And I would see all these happy people.
Yeah.
And I was pretty much just like fuck them, like like fuck you.
Because you don't have. It's kind of
Yeah, it was
feels like a
envy,
different.
and you know they had stuff that I didn't have, so it kind of just. And I thought it was corny. It was like, that's so corny. They don't even swear. They're, you know what I mean? So, but yeah, as I've gotten older, I've definitely matured and way more open to it than I have ever been.
Right. That's awesome, dude.
It is. Oh, I got one more segment.
Yeah.
I want us to all grab our phones.
Okay.
And let's find a DM, just a fucking random DM, and see what it's like.
Like in our Instagram?
Facebook, Instagram, either one. Find a crazy DM and we had to read it out loud.
Dude, I don't know if I got crazy DMs,
I don't have any like crazy DMs.
I don't know if I got like crazy DMs, to be honest.
I got a couple from Mike Wright. Oh, they're Instagram reels. I mean, I could.
You don't have anything?
Nick Weiss's DMs. I don't like really.
Yeah, I'm not like crazy.
When I send stuff, it's like Gene, you, Cody Galloway, my buddy Chris.
We do text a lot.
Andy. Like I don't have like a lot of.
How about requests?
I delete my request, but I have one from an LO that was asking about a marketing piece. I think a flyer. Then this one that like those fake ones they send. Hey, I hope this doesn't come off weird, but IG showed me your profile, but I was with a friend and she found you cute.
Man.
I know she is feeling extremely lonely these past months. That is a crazy one.
That is.
Yeah. But it's like the like Russian account that, you know, a fake Instagram model.
Yeah, I was cooking a steak once on my story and somebody replied to me, that's enough to feed half of Asia, so...
That's crazy.
Call him out, expose him. Racist motherfucker.
It was Nick.
Nick Wise?
So he just has that humor with me, dude. He wasn't being mean.
Dude, he has that humor with everybody.
Yeah.
I should open mine that Nick has sent me.
That's dangerous.
Unopened. Where are they? Here we go. Well, Nick has 2 accounts, but they're Instagram reels of, I think, political stuff.
Yuck.
The world may be chewing me up and spitting me out, but I'm built like a piece of corn. No idea.
So.
Oh, here's another Nick one.
He's built like a piece of corn, so when he poops.
He just sends me a bunch of.
Yeah, he does send stuff. Yeah.
That was a bust. Sorry, thought that was going to be better.
Good idea, but we just are boring.
Poor execution. Shit.
Last question: how do you want to be remembered when you're gone?
Oh, dude, what? It's a great question, dude. I just want to be remembered as an authentic guy who's not afraid to be himself and just spread like fun, authentic energy to people.
Dude, yeah,
yeah,
that fits you. You're living that.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah.
Everybody that I talk to is always like, I fucking love Nathan.
Oh, really?
Nathan's such a good dude. Yeah.
Oh, the Lone Ranger is unreal.
Yeah.
Who says that, dude? That's the first time hearing about it.
Like earlier today when Chris Larson was in here and he's like, what are you filming? And I'm like, oh, we're having Nathan Ta on at 2 on Pod
2.
Gods. And I was like, I love that guy. And he's like, yeah, he's great.
Yeah.
And then
I was leaving the office today and I was like, yeah, I'm going to go film with the Lone Ranger, and Max and Nate were like, oh, dude, great guy.
Yeah.
Oh, heck yeah, dude.
Tom loves you. Maddie B.
We all love you, man. You're just a good, authentic guy.
Oh, yeah.
I love that.
And that's
Appreciate
cool.
it.
It's hard to find nowadays.
Yeah. Always happy when you come in and chit chat.
Yeah, I know. I just come in and shoot the shit with
always
you.
Always good
vibes.
Yeah. Nathan, a.k.a. the Lone Ranger, thank you for coming on.
Thanks for having me, guys. This was awesome.
Where can they find you?
Right here.
OnlyFans?
Right here.
This office, man.
All right. Thank you so much for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. Hit that like button, notification bell. We'll see you next week.
Goodbye.
Bye.